Hello, and welcome to my guide to the Desecrated Altar featuring my Melee Cleric. My name is Alikor, and I will be showing you footage from my clears of the Desecrated Altar while going over pulls, mechanics, and things of that nature. This guide will talk about general mechanics and may reference cleric-specific tactics occasionally, but the information will typically be class agnostic. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to know to start farming this place without fear of losing your precious dungeon keys. Now, let's begin. The Desecrated Altar is the next solo dungeon after the Undercourse. You will want to be at least around 7,000 to 8,000 combat rating before starting this dungeon, as it can be fairly difficult with pulls that can easily result in death if not handled carefully, even if you exceed 9,000 combat rating. The Desecrated Altar is located in St. Revere's graveyard, right between the church and the bank. In order to enter, you will need the keys to St. Revere. To get this, you must defeat the final boss of the Undercourse, who will drop 2 of these each time you defeat him at the time of this video. So for each Undercourse you clear, you will be able to enter the Desecrated Altar 2 times. Once you have your key, you can enter the Desecrated Altar. Just like previous solo dungeons, the keys are consumed on use, and if you die inside the dungeon, you will lose your opportunity to clear that instance and will need to use another key to enter a new one. Inside the Desecrated Altar, you will find yourself faced with several mob types you've encountered before, as well as 2 new ones. Returning mob types are the Skeletal Warrior and the Skeletal Mage from the Barracks, and the Undead Horror from the Undercourse. These mobs do the same exact things they do in those instances, so I'll focus more on the new mobs, but the skeletal mobs will generally be the first mobs you kill because they apply nasty debuffs, but they go down quickly. The first new mob you will encounter is the Fallen Guard. These mobs are quite tanky. They can hit fairly hard, and they will apply hamstring and rend debuffs to you. They can also charge you if you move away from them, stunning you for a moment. Pretty simple mobs. They're strong, but as a melee cleric, they're nothing to worry about when fighting them alone. The other new mob you will find here is the Corrupt Cleric. These mobs are the most deadly thing in here, and that's including the boss. Corrupt Clerics will apply a hamstring debuff to you and will use Lesser Heal, Mind Blast, and Storm Bolt. Hamstring and Lesser Heal are the same as what you've encountered before. Mind Blast is a juiced up version of Shadow Bolt from the Skeletal Mages, and it does also apply the stacking debuff that causes you to take additional magic damage. Storm Bolt is a spell that hits about as hard as Mind Blast, maybe slightly less, but stuns you. Getting hit by Storm Bolt followed by Mind Blast is deadly, so make sure you do everything you can to interrupt Storm Bolt. As a cleric, you can eat some Mind Blast here and there, but you never want to eat a Storm Bolt. If you do absolutely have to, try to use Discipline beforehand to reduce incoming damage. Another thing you can do is break line of sight to interrupt their spell casts. Try to bring them near a corner and duck behind it as needed. If you do it quickly enough, they won't move and you can continue using the same spot to LOS. The general priority order for killing mobs is going to be Skeletal Mages first, followed by Skeletal Warriors, then Corrupt Clerics, then Fallen Guard, then Undead Horrors. The priority list may be different for other classes depending on how you use your crowd control abilities. For clerics, as a general tip for this dungeon, be careful of your use of fear. It's an invaluable tool here, but it's very possible to chain pull, and a chain pull is almost certainly a death. Position yourself wisely for using it. 2 of the worst spots for this is near the entrance and near the room to the northwest of the entrance. The final boss of this dungeon is named Ebondeath. Before pulling him, make sure you've killed all other mobs in the dungeon. As of this video, anything left alive anywhere in the dungeon will pull when he is pulled. Ebondeath will cast Dispel Magic, Frostbolt, Shadowbolt, and Divine Stormbolt. Dispel Magic will remove your beneficial magical effects, which means reincarnation is likely to be removed if you use it. Frostball doesn't hit very hard but applies a slowing debuff. Shadow Bolt is the same as Skeletal Mage's, though it hits decently hard even with no stacks applied. Divine Stormbolt is the same as Corrupt Cleric's Stormbolt, except it cannot be avoided by breaking line of sight. You will want to do whatever you can to stop this from being cast or avoiding the stun. Just like with Corrupt Clerics, eating Divine Stormbolt followed by a Shadow Bolt can be deadly. I recommend saving your interrupts for Divine Stormbolt. You can line of sight Shadow Bolt as needed, but be careful because he can start casting Divine Stormbolt while you're away from him, potentially giving you no time to stop him. Also, like with Corrupt Clerics, you can eat some Shadow Bolts here and there if you can heal through them. Frostbolt can be ignored entirely. Once you've managed to defeat Ebondeath, be sure to loot him and get Salmaster's Key, which will be used to access the next solo dungeon, Salmaster's Descent. The entrance to Salmaster's Descent is located in the center of the Desecrated Altar, behind the lone fallen guard at the back of the central room. I won't be going over that dungeon in this video, but I wanted to mention that because if you leave the dungeon now, you'll need to use another key to Saint Revere to enter the Desecrated Altar in order to enter Salmaster's Descent. That's about it for the Desecrated Altar. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and like the video if you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Lates.